Good morning, I'm John Bolt. We want to get you the very latest information now on that school bus crash we've been following in southwest Jefferson County. Our reporter Scott Atkins live on the scene now joins us with the very latest. Scott.
At this point, we know that 47 patients were transported to various hospitals throughout Louisville, and 2 patients were transported after they were involved in an accident. Those 2 patients are teenagers, and they were in a red vehicle after this bus collided with a red Mustang on Lower River Road. This happened just about an hour ago. You can see the Mustang is in the embankment there, the bus along River Road. After the 2 vehicles collided, those patients were loaded onto a medical response bus and taken to hospitals throughout the entire metro. We are going to bring in Louisville Metro Police spokesperson Dwight Mitchell at this point, as he is, of course, learning new information. This story is unfolding before our very eyes, so new information is coming in throughout the hour. But 47 patients taken to hospitals from the bus after the bus and the Mustang collided. But thankfully here, Dwight, none of the injuries are life-threatening.
Well, that is the blessing that we have this morning, because it could have been a lot more tragic than it is, and we're thankful for that. But about 7:15 this morning, our 3rd Division officers did receive a call of an injury accident at Lower River Road and Mormon Road. Preliminary investigation reveals that a red Mustang was going westbound on Mormon Road. The driver slid into the intersection of Mormon Road and Lower River and collided with the school bus that was going southbound. As a result of that, the bus tumbled over several times. Again, you said about 47 patients have been transported to various hospitals, being St. Mary's, Southwest, and Cozaire Hospital. Again, none of the injuries appear to be life-threatening, and again, we're grateful for that.
And the reason those patients were transported to various hospitals is so that not one particular hospital or emergency room was inundated with patients. I'm going to bring in Jody Duncan now with Emergency Services, a scene that was unfolding before a lot of these emergency responders' eyes, a lot of them saying they've never seen anything like this.
Yes, they did. Not usual for a bus to roll over like that, sure, and have all of those patients inside it.
47 patients once taken to a hospital. What type of teamwork does it take to make sure all those patients and the communication is communicated to parents?
The communication with the parents is the utmost importance, so they can know where their children are. All of the parents are going to be meeting at Frost Middle School, so we advise them or ask them to go to Frost Middle School and get the names of the children and the various locations that they have gone to. Like Dwight said, St. Mary and Elizabeth, Southwest, and Cozaire. And there's a lot of teamwork in this. We've had PRP Fire Department on the scene, Louisville Metro EMS is on the scene, as well as Yellow Ambulance and Rural Metro Ambulance that have helped out. So it is a collaboration of efforts.
JCPS Bus 1250 involved in a collision here on River Road. Again, if you know a parent, they need to go to Frost Middle School to find out the condition of their child if they were involved in this accident. For now, reporting live, Scott Atkins, Way 3 News.
Scott, thank you very much. Again, to underscore the good news here, no serious or life-threatening injuries, according to Dwight Mitchell with LMPD. Now, let's get the latest on a closer look at where this happened and the road closures around it. Now, we were initially told that they were transported to 3 places, St. Mary's, Southwest, and Cozaire Children's Hospital. Gene West just checked with the Southwest and St. Mary's. They said they have received no patients yet. They've been put on standby, and they are waiting. All right, let's get another update from Scott Atkins live on the scene. Scott?
Again, 47 patients total taken to the hospital, including all those patients on this JCPS bus involved in this accident with a red Mustang. I'm going to show you the scene here behind me as emergency responders are still working and making sure that all the parents that came to the scene are notified and told to go to Frost Middle School to find out the condition of their child and whether or not they were transported to the various hospitals throughout the metro. This happened about an hour and a half ago here on Lower River Road as JCPS Bus 1250 was on its way, and that's when it collided with a red Mustang. The red Mustang may have been speeding, according to LMPD. Accident reconstructionists are on the scene right now, making sure that they are able to complete this investigation and reopen Lower River Road. I must tell you that I was just feet away from the scene. A very fluid situation right now as parents rush to the scene to find out the condition of their child after some of them saw this accident before their very eyes. John?
Okay, Scott, I have a question here back in the studio. One thing that jumps out at me is it's one thing for a bus to just fall over, topple over. Dwight Mitchell was just telling you it tumbled over and over. What can you tell me about it? Was this thing rolling a couple of times, which makes me really think this is a miracle if there were no serious or life-threatening injuries, then if that happened?
No confirmation on the terminology and exactly what happened as the bus was involved in the accident. All I can tell you is my first-hand account is that the bus is on its side and there are shattered glass windows for at least about 50 yards from the bus. Whether or not it tumbled and it rolled, accident reconstructionists and LMPD are learning new information, because at first we were told that there were just 26 patients on the bus taken to the hospital, but new information in the last 20 minutes we've learned that there were 47 children and adults taken to the hospital that were on the bus, as well as 2 additional teenagers who were in the red Mustang. Again, they say that the roads were slick at the time as it continued raining, and speed may have been a factor as the red Mustang was traveling west on Mormon Road. Right now you're looking at a live picture as emergency responders work to clear the scene and to get this bus back into, to clear the bus away. Of course, we'll bring you new information just as soon as we can out here live as we continue learning new information after this JCPS bus 1250 was involved in an accident. Parents should go to Frost Middle School to find out the condition of their child. For now, reporting live, Scott Atkins, Way 3 News. John, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Scott, good work. All right, let's go back to the scene now. Our Scott Atkins, live on the scene there, has more for us from the EMS end of things. Scott?
Yeah, as we learn new information about where these students were transported and the patients and where they're located, it's important to note that Louisville EMS is doing everything they can to make sure that they're transported to the correct location and that there isn't miscommunication. That's why parents are encouraged to go to Frost Middle School to learn what information and where they should go. I have Lieutenant Colonel Lee Dennison with me, and you wanted to clarify what parents should do at this point.
Correct. I know it was put out a little while ago that all the parents needed to go to Frost Middle School to find out the whereabouts of their child. With an incident this large, it's hard to transport all the patients to one particular facility because of the fact that it would overwhelm that facility. So what we do is we're in contact with all the facilities in the area and downtown to make sure they can handle what we're giving them, because this is a large-scale incident. You know, luckily nobody was seriously injured. We had a lot of help. Like we were talking, Pleasure Ridge Park Fire Department, they were a great help.
With the accident occurring at 7:15 this morning and then almost immediately taking students to the hospital and these patients to the hospital, some of the parents are frustrated that they cannot find out where their child is and which location they're at. What would you like to tell them?
They need to contact Frost Middle, and they will have the whereabouts of all their children.
Immediately after this accident, what was the first measure taken to make sure that there wasn't miscommunication with an accident and so many patients involved in this?
We were immediately in contact with the hospitals in the local area and all over the community to see what they could take at that point. You have to understand that there's a lot of stuff going on the scene at the time, and so the parents need to be patient. I understand it's their child. I do understand that, and the school board is wanting them to go to Frost Middle.
And as we've reiterated, there are no life-threatening injuries. The injuries that we're told are possibly broken bones and other fractures. Of course, we'll continue to bring you new information from the scene of this accident here at Lower River Road and Mormon. Reporting live, Scott Atkins, Way 3 News.
6 at Coast Children, so 13 and 26 and 6 almost adds up to the 47 that they were talking about. Right. All right, let's go back to the scene now. Get the very latest from Scott Atkins there, who's been reporting for the last 2 hours for Scott.
Everyone on board 1250 were taken to the hospital. That word from LMPD spokesperson Dwight Mitchell. 47 people transported to various hospitals, 2 taken to various hospitals from the Red Mustang after this accident at 7:15 this morning. The school bus has now been flipped over. You can see the damage. We're finally getting a good look at what happened to this bus as it collided with a Red Mustang. New information just came into reporters out here. We're told that the bus may have rolled more than 2 times as it collided and ultimately rolled over during the accident. You're seeing a tow truck remove the bus at this point. JCPS bus 1250. The medical response bus. This is the first time it's ever been used. That word from Metro EMS Services. 47 people taken to the hospital, many of them loaded onto that medical response bus purchased with a Homeland Security grant, and they were able to use it for the first time today. Unfortunately, in a situation like this, but fortunately, the resources available to get all those patients directly to the hospital in one concise unit. For now, working for you live, Scott Atkins, Way 3 News.
Okay, thank you very much, Scott. Wow, Gene.
All right, yeah, let's try to recap for the people who are just joining us. If you are just joining us, it's been a pretty bad school bus accident.
Right, 7:15 this morning, a red Mustang slid into oncoming traffic, and for whatever reason, whether it struck the bus or whether the bus had to swerve to avoid the Mustang and the other traffic, the bus rolled. We now have heard 2 or more times, not just toppling over on its side. A number of students transported. The latest number we have is 47 students transported, 6 of the most injured to Coast Air Children's Hospital, as many as 26 to Southwest, as many as 13 to St. Mary's. Speed and rain may have been a factor in this crash. No serious or life-threatening injuries, we are told by the police department so far, but again, this was bus number 1250, full of students headed to Frost Middle School. Parents are being told to go to or contact Frost Middle School for the very latest on where to find their child.
That accident happened around 7:15 this morning at the intersection of Lower River Road and Mormon Road. Now, that is in the Valley Station area.
Tonight, we've got live team coverage from area hospitals and new information from JCPS. But Wave 3's Scott Adkins begins our team coverage with how this all started.
Light rain and slick conditions when JCPS bus 1250 collided with a red Mustang, sending 48 children to the hospital. Anxious parents arrive.
They're scared, they're crying, they're hurt.
Their children being loaded onto a mass casualty ambulance, not knowing what's beyond the flashing lights.
They're not telling us nothing but hold up.
Some received a call moments after bus 1250 overturned.
They used a cell phone from somebody on the bus.
The packed bus was on its way to Frost Middle School around 7:15 Friday morning when a red Mustang driven by a teenager slammed into the JCPS bus, knocking it on its side. No one suffered life-threatening injuries. Everyone survived.
Everybody's lucky.
More than 4 dozen patients in all were loaded onto ambulances. One medical vehicle transported more than 20.
Which is the first time we've had an incident this large to where we rode the bus, and it helped out really well. We transported, I think, a total of 24 on the bus.
The magnitude of this emergency situation, coupled with the 5 different hospitals patients were taken to, made it a challenge communicating to parents right away.
And this is a large incident, and you know that it takes time to sort everything out.
But we do our very best, along with the school board, to try to notify them on where their kids were going and where they would be.
But in the moment, some parents who arrived on scene felt like they were left out.
I got a granddaughter and a daughter that was on that bus.
A passenger in the red Mustang was taken by ambulance. Police say that car was heading to Butler High School.
Talking to some of the witnesses, speed may have been a factor on the Mustang.
Lower River Road opened within 4 hours of the accident. Police say the red Mustang may have slid into oncoming traffic, partly because of the wet conditions. Working for you, Scott Adkins, Wave 3 News.